Hi everyone, this is Jacqueline from She Writes Studios and welcome to today's author celebration for Unleash Her Voice, Unlocking Confidence and Power in Every Woman's Story, a powerful anthology that brings together 83 inspiring women from around the world, making a global impact as an international bestseller in three continents, US, UK, and Australia.
I
Every
can hear
woman
anything.
featured in this Everyone featured in this has one thing in common. She chose to stop silencing herself. She chose to own her narrative, flaws, fears, fire, and all. And in doing so, they gave other permission to do the same. So let's dive in into Unleash Her Voice and meet the women who are rewriting the narrative for generations to come. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Hello,
Hello,
how
hi
are you?
Jacqueline, how are you?
Congratulations. Your book is now
Hi.
a bestseller in three different continents. How does that feel?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Ding!
Amazing.
Awesome, wonderful. There's 83 of you, which is just awesome and incredible. How does it feel working with these, different ladies and reading their own story? Uh, how did that make you feel?
Empowered. I think all of you women are amazing. And the fact that we've all come together to write empowering chapters in this book just says that we are fantastic, right? I think, everybody has their own story to tell. And thank you also for being brave enough to be in that book, in the pages of that book, to inspire and motivate people who are reading it. Well done, ladies.
Well done indeed.
Um,
Yes, Unya.
yeah, so I was gonna say I'm really glad to share my story because this one, like I've written other anthologies before, but this one was my very, very personal story to share my trauma in there and how I found my voice and to where I am now. So I felt it was really empowering to let that story go in there and the conversations we had, and now it's out there. So anyone who's been through the same thing where I have, they can come and read my chapter for reference.
That's true. Awesome. Thank you, Hunya. Can I have one more to share? Yes, yes, Joanne.
Hi, everybody. So for me, I think that this was, first of all, it was very empowering for me to do this. I literally had an unapologetic, almost freestyle poem the way that I did it with regards to my cancer diagnosis and where I was and where I am today. And yesterday was 8 years for the day of my diagnosis. So we didn't think I'd actually be here, and I am. So I'm so grateful for that. But there were things in there that I just been holding back and things that I just needed to get out. And I did. And then to hear and see everybody else's stories and the way that they've all come through, I think this book is so empowering for not just us be able to get it off of our chests and the things that we're saying, but for anybody else who's going to read it.
That's awesome. That's wonderful and 100% true. Now, one of the things that makes this book special is that you ladies are sharing very, vulnerable, very personal experiences that you have. How was the writing of your story helped you heal through or transform or reclaimed your voice? Yes, Evelina.
Uh,
My story is called From Deathbed to Destiny. And I also have a health trial that I've had to overcome the last 16 years. And recently, actually, was just hospitalized about a week and a half ago, just remembering, like, oh, a lot of times people don't know me, like, for my autoimmune, which I have lupus. I also have, like, a blood clotting disorder. But my lupus, when they first diagnosed me, it took them like 3 to 5 years, the docters, to figure it out. And I actually had flatlined 3 times and reverted back to a childlike state. So I literally had to learn how to walk, talk, and like eat again. And so just being able to like reclaim my voice, literally, and being able to use it to empower the next generation, because now I'm the CEO and founder of Shine Your Light Christian Youth Camp and leadership development programs. So a lot of my life is dedicated to mentoring and advocating and teaching students and being able to help them
who
to
are also
find
facing the
their
same thing.
voice and be able to just really narrow in on the gifts and talents that God has given them. I wish I would have had more of that when I was younger. I had mentors and I had teachers and things, but just to have a program that walks alongside you to develop these life and leadership skills, it's just really amazing through this journey and through this book and this story, just seeing what God has done with my life and my testimony and just being obedient to the Lord and walking out my destiny has truly been a blessing. And it's been an honor to be a part of this book with so many different ladies and it being an international bestseller. I think, wow, that's, yeah, super empowering. It's also just only something that God could do. So it's been awesome.
And it's very inspirational too. Thank you,
Yes.
Evelina. Yes, Sonia, you'd like to share?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, so while I was writing my chapter about my story, I actually helped out 2 or 3 girls in the pageant community who were dealing with the exact same story that I was dealing with about 10, 15 years ago. So that actually motivated me to maybe help out more people who are going through the same thing, with dealing with the same thing about being told that, okay, that this is what it means to be tough. This is what you are. You can't be that. The guy just didn't accept you the way you are. The guy, like, he was like, giving me a tough time. So something like that. It was to do with a relationship. It was to do with a toxic one-sided relationship that I saw other girls are dealing with it. So I was able to use my expertise to help other people as not like an official relationship coach or advisor, but in an unofficial way, through the best way I can.
That's awesome. Claribel or Sonia?
Yeah, I will just say that I think, what all these ladies have been saying is really for people to recognize that we all have a story. We all have lessons that we learn, things that teach us resilience. And the hope is that this book really helps women and anyone really around the world recognize that they're not alone, and that really sharing your voice and sharing your story is really significant to your healing process and to the healing process of others. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Sonia. Claribel, would you like to share? Or maybe we can circle back to Claribel later on. All right. Well, another thing that is wonderful about writing really is, as it's writing is a journey. And I was wondering if you have ever discovered something new about yourself while you were going through this process, writing your story, reading other women's stories. Did you rediscover anything about you?
I'll go really briefly. I think it's rediscovering your strength, and just saying, oh my gosh, I've been through so much. And like Joanne was saying, 8 years ago, she got this diagnosis, and look at her. And for all of us, right? So, it's our journeys, and just recognizing that you've gone through a lot, and sometimes writing it all out is really helpful in identifying how resilient and strong we all are.
I love that. Yes, Joanne.
That's one of the things that I actually have learned as well, which I think is really, really healing, is that I realized that I have my own story and it's my story to tell, nobody else's, and I don't need permission to do it. And I think that that's something that's been holding me back for a really, really long time. But in discovering myself and writing the things, and this was very, very emotional for me, this one. And I kept it close to the chest. I didn't let anybody, even my husband, read it. I was just really doing it. But it made me realize that it's okay. It's your story. Tell your story, and it will also help you heal from the inside out. So I think that's the most important thing that I've discovered while I've been writing throughout this whole journey. With now, this is the 3rd book in the last couple months that have come out, and it's really given me that's something that I need to keep going. I really do.
Yes, Karine.
Yeah, I realized that I only have control over what I do, how I respond, and how I react. So it's not about trying to control or change somebody else or the way they think and the way they behave. That's totally my responsibility about myself. So I had to get I'd forgotten that I can't control these situations, wanting to make the changes so that everything worked out smoothly. That isn't my responsibility. That's not my job. My role is to first and foremost think about myself and how I can be the best version of myself. And the only way I can do that is by concentrating on doing what is right for me, and letting go of all of that other stuff that I can't control. It'd be nice to have a magic wand and, just ding, everything works out perfectly, but it really doesn't when you're in that mindset. So it was a mind shift set for me. It was like, you have to remember that person is responsible for themselves and I'm responsible for me. So using my voice in that way really did empower me, and like all the other stuff just disappeared. The white noise disappeared, and then I was left with myself. And how was I going to move forward? That was the most important thing to me. So shout out to Joanne for your 8 years. Fantastic. Evelyn, I love those earrings because they are just amazing. And I'm so honoured to be a part of this anthology with all of you. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Yes, Evelina, you'd like to share something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, when you're writing, everyone's talking about it being this healing process. And it is true that everyone has some kind of story to share that someone could learn from and they can find themselves in that story. I say, like, when you write your story, it might be someone else's survival guide. And so it's important to really get your story out there. But as I was writing, it just reminded me how much I love the process. I went to school for broadcast journalism in Spanish and was a journalist for many years, and then stepped into teaching, and just being able to combine the things that I love, the public speaking, the teaching, the writing, the mentoring, leading this organization for youth to empower them and for their voices to be heard. But that's what it helped me to remember how much I loved doing this, and helped me to go back to a gift that I had kind of shelved for a while. And it's nice to be able to do this. This is my 4th anthology with She Rises this year that I'm dropping. And so it's been a real busy year, but it's been a lot of fun.
And there'll be more in 2026. That's awesome.
That's what my daughter said. I have a 13-year-old daughter, and she kind of proofreads a lot of what I'm doing. And she's like, Mom, are we done? Like, are you still going to do more? And I was just like, I don't know. If I feel God's calling me to it, I'll do it. We'll see.
That's awesome. Arvel, are you're able to hear us now? Would you like to share? She still does not have her audio on, Mimi. No? Okay. Okay, well, that's fine. Lillian is with us as well. Can you hear us, Lillian?
Hi there. I totally can, but I just have to be on mute for the next little bit, if that's okay, because I just have a call with my mom that I'm on right now as well in this meeting. Is that okay?
Yes, totally
Okay.
fine. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Right, wonderful. Now, one of the theme of this anthology, and essentially probably all of the anthologies that you ladies have been joining, is the sisterhood. In all of these anthologies, what does this mean to you, being part of this sisterhood, and maybe bringing each other's stories alongside yours? What does that mean to you? How does that make you? Why is it important? Yes, Joanne.
So, I was part of the incubator program. And during that program, there was a group of us that we literally call ourselves, we have a sister chat. It's about writing. It's about life. It's about proofreading. It's about everything. You name it, we come to each other for it, and we're there. And it's just an incredible, incredible experience for me. For all of us that are in this group, some of us are active every day. Some of us take a little bit of a break, but no matter what, at the end of the day, we know that if we need each other, we're there for each other. And if I can't wait for February when I meet them in person, but I feel like I know them in person already. They're your best friends. They become part of you, your story, and how you're progressing. And they encourage you to keep going. And, so if we make a commitment in our chat, like I'm going to write, 1,000 words, 3,000 words today, at the end of that day, we check in. Did you do that? How are you doing? And all of that. So it's really, really phenomenal to be able to be part of this group of women being in the author community, She Rises community. And it's just something that I think is building and building and building. And I think it's an incredible sisterhood.
Awesome. Can I have one more? Yes, Green.
It's incredible because we hear about the brotherhood all the time. And so when I hear about a sisterhood, I think, yay, go us women, because we've got this unique ability to be able to share, and somebody somewhere in the world will resonate with what you're saying, will feel that pain or hurt or happiness or joy, whatever it might be. And I think women have this special way of connecting that the brotherhood doesn't have. I love the fact that women can be an open book, excuse the pun, because we can tell a story and we can be very genuine with that. That sharing is so powerful and empowering, but it's connecting as well. So that's what I feel with all the anthologies I've been a part of and honoured to be a part of, is that we all can take a piece away from each other's chapters, and there's something in there that connects us all. So I think that makes us very unique. So go the sisterhood.
Awesome. Wonderful. To close us off here, maybe one or two of you can share at the end of the day, after reading the entire book, what would you like that person to take along with, to bring, to keep in their hearts from the entire book? Who would like to share? Yes, Tunya.
I would like to share that you can walk away from any toxic situation. So that's what I like to share. And then you can just do your best and you can just go with what are your intentions.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Anybody else? Yes, Joanne.
I want people to understand that the stories that you're reading are real, they're authentic. Some of them are unapologetic, such as myself, and it's okay for you to go forward and do the same thing for yourself. Hold this book in your heart and know that there's a story in here that connects to you, and it's okay for you to tell yours.
Yes, Evelina.
I want every person out there, especially women, to unleash their voice. That's what I want them to do when they leave reading this book. I want them to start writing. Even if they don't decide to publish, there's just something very therapeutic about journaling or sharing in a small group. Make yourself visible, because there is someone that really needs to hear your story. And I want just people to know that there is, just all these opportunities through She Rises or other places that they can just plug right in, and they will find women that are going to love and support on them. And yeah, go share your voice, go share your story.
Thank you so much. Well, that was an
In my chapter, I
incredible.
talked about the power of reclaiming their power, their voice, honoring themselves, and rebuilding who they are. So I'd love for all of the women who read this to do all of those things.
I'd
That's
say
awesome.
be fearless. Be fearless. Go out there and do anything and everything that gives you joy, and stand in your truth. Be who you are. Be proud of it. And each and every one of you, including myself, are really amazing for being in this position, writing our chapters in the book, being included in all of this. I think fantastic. And by the way, happy Christmas, because we are celebrating that in this book.
That's awesome. Well, this has been fun, although very short, but incredible celebration of truth, strength, and sisterhood. To every author of Unleash Her Voice, all 83 of you, thank you for your vulnerability, your boldness, and your commitment to showing up, not just for yourself, but for every woman still searching for her voice. Your stories are more than inspiring, they are liberating. And today, You've reminded us all that we don't need permission to speak our truth. We only need the courage to begin. To our audience, if you haven't already, we invite you to grab your copy of Unleash Her Voice, Unlocking Confidence, Empowering Every Woman's Story. Now available on Amazon. Read it, share it, gift it for this holiday season. And because when we amplify each other's voices, we all rise together. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice day.